Buffalo tonight 3-2 in overtime. They gave up the goal with 10 seconds remaining. Joonas Korpisalo was outstanding tonight. 27 saves in the loss. Bees have now lost 3 in a row. They now begin a 5-game road trip. Derek Stingley has signed a 3-year, $90 million extension with Houston. The Bengals reached extensions with both Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Lane Johnson gets an extension with the Eagles. Celtics, they play the home-and-home with Brooklyn. Jaylen Brown will miss the game tomorrow. 76ers Paul George done for the remainder of the season. Red Sox, they beat the Braves 2-1 today. The MLB season begins at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning in Japan between the Dodgers and the Cubs. Headlines, they are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray, and good thing I didn't sing.
No matter where you go, you're always connected to Boston sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Download it wherever you get your apps today.
Power. Again to Quinn. Near the left faceoff dot. Power. High slot. And find anywhere to go with it. Now throws it to the net, and it ricochets in. Looked like it caught Yoki Haru on the way in. And with 10.7 to go in overtime, the Sabres will win it. 3-2 the final.
Dreaming about that?
An entertaining game, and, they show hard and play tough, yeah. Yep. But losing to Buffalo is not great. The way that you lost to Buffalo wasn't great, and, well, tonight's loss was not great. And Bruins have now lost 3 in a row, so that's not good. 10.7 seconds left in overtime. That's how they lost. That's the way it ended. You can't make it up, though. I'm not going to lie to you. I told intern Trent, who could back me up on this, I said they're going to blow this game. And they did. Now, Skaz, we normally do that not every night, but we have a feeling. You work the game. Our buddy Jeremy's back at the Garden, and there are times where we're like, this got overtime written all over it. This, tonight had the second period. How fast did that go?
Yeah, the second period was crazy. We didn't break until under 5 minutes to go in the second period. Game was flying. But, yeah, the Bruins, Korpisalo was great tonight, too. He was really good. He was, probably their best player tonight, and just not enough on the other end. Luukkonen was okay. He wasn't great, but I thought Korpisalo was really good tonight.
I thought he had a big was it Pastrnak had a save at one point in the game? It was huge. I mean, at least the Bruins forced the overtime, right? But they come up short. Losing to Buffalo tonight, 3-2 in overtime. There was a Hustadinov tripping call that caused them shorthanded in overtime, and, 3 games. So there you go. I mentioned the 5-game road trip coming up, but Geeky had a nice little move to score a goal in this one. Pavel Zacha, the other, with 7 minutes left. So, I give him credit for tying the game and playing aggressive and being in it. Geeky had his 23rd goal of the year. But Pastrnak was pissed when the tripping call happened to Hustadinov. You're coming home from the game tonight. What are your thoughts on the Bees? 617-779-0985. It's disappointing because I know this is a different look team, right? Hustadinovs look good, right? I understand that some of the new guys defensively are still figuring it out and goals happen. Thought Korpisalo looked good. I actually thought Korpisalo was awesome at times. It's refreshing compared to Swayman. Maybe it's just a bad taste in our mouths over the last couple of games of Jeremy Swayman. But watching Korpisalo do that, he cared. The goal with 10 seconds left, it's I don't want to call it puck luck or any of that, but it's unfortunate. And they come up short. They're now 30-30 on the year. This is what the Bruins will look like. If you saw the Tampa Bay game the other night, 6 goals again in the game, Swayman. But this is probably what the new look Bruins look like. A team that's scrappy, plays hard, in it till the end. That's what they are right now. So there's no tanking going on, even though they keep falling out of the playoff spot and getting closer to a better lottery spot. But this one's disappointing. You're coming home from the game. I only say this. The game didn't suck. We've talked about that second period being so fast. It was an entertaining game. It is new. There is more discovery happening. I mean, I can't. Buffalo, just watching their style play tonight. So it's funny. Whenever I saw the name Alex Tuch, how do you say it, Skaz? How would Alex Tuch tonight?
Tuck. Alex Tuck.
Because I wanted to call him Tush, but I didn't. But he was good tonight, huh? That guy?
Tage Thompson was good after, Zadorov lit him up. He bounced back a little bit.
Alex Tuck.
Yeah, this isn't, Sabres, not a good team.
Not a good team.
Not a good team. I mean, I know they beat the Devils and the Oilers recently. They also lost 7-2 to the Red Wings the other night, I think Bob mentioned. So, not a great team, but they're building something for next year. That's, all the pregame sound we played was them talking about how they're trying to change things. Lindy Ruff is back, trying to get the Sabres to the playoff again,
Yep.
Groundhog Day. But, the vibe coming out of their room pregame was we're trying to build something. This is different. We're trying to piece together something. And, I don't know if I feel that about the Bruins right now. They got the trade deadline bump, but since then, their last 2 games combined, they have 4 shots in the second period. That's just not going to get it done.
I think I saw a note earlier regarding this. The Bruins were held under 20 shots in back-to-back games for the first time since they traded Ray Bourque in 1998. Or October of 98, so I guess they didn't trade him yet. Anyways, 20 shots? You mentioned that Buffalo's in one direction, maybe the Bruins are another in the bump.
I think for the Bruins, the thing is you're the Buffalo Sabres right now. Like, you're no different than them, right? I mean, your record's marginally better. It's better, but that's kind of where you are right now. To other teams in the league, when they see you on the schedule, you're no different than the Buffalo Sabres.
I would agree with that. I still thought the Bruins were the better team tonight.
I mean, it's not often you're the better team and have the better goaltending and you lose a hockey game.
Yeah, and I don't want to call it snake bitten. Even Joe Sacco after the game, hey, I thought our forechecking was much better tonight. We came up short. Pasternak's talking to the media right now. He's been outstanding, 8 points his last 7 games, but let's look at the shots on net tonight for the Bees. Beecher, none. Brown, none. Gigi had 2. He had a goal and an assist. Kastelik, 0. Kustadinov, 1. Kepke, 0. Lauko, 1. Letary, 1. Lindholm, 1. Pasta had 4 shots on net, and Zacha had 1. It looks like they got a lot of shots from the blue line, though. Zadorov had a couple peak. Mitchell had a shot in there. Lowry left the game. I saw that as well. So, could that be the issue? There's too much opportunity from the blue line? Because this is now back-to-back games. This isn't, I know they got the bump, like you said. I still think they're a faster team. I think talent's their problem. I think they have maybe 1 or 2 guys who can play on a top line. Right now, I think it's Pastrnak and maybe Zacha. And Zacha's play has improved of late. Don't get me wrong.
I think Geeky showed you something this year.
Geeky's been great. John Buccigross. Bruins stealth tanking could get them in the bottom 5. Wicked smart. You know where this day? You just want you to know on this show here, guys. Closer to the lottery than the playoffs. I've been saying it all along. So I don't think they tanked tonight. I think Korpisalo played his ass off. I mean, Pasta was in there trying to stop shots. Pasta got stoned by the goaltender. Nice little move to the outside. He even had a nice pass early on that missed. I thought Pasternak was great. I didn't watch him defensively or anything like that. Yeah, but Joe, he did this. I don't care. I saw him making plays and getting to the net constantly tonight. He's all they have, though. All right, so Gigi, Zaka, Pasta, what else? Are they getting anything else? No. So this is what they're left with at this point. But Pasternak, again, 20 minutes on the ice tonight. Just late in the game. 10 seconds to go. Can you? And you know, I'm not a blame the officials guy, but did you think the tripping was valid?
I think Pasta's big gripe with it, Pasternak's big gripe with it was Hustadinov.
Pasta all night.
Yeah, was pushed beforehand that led to him losing his stick. That's at least what Pasternak thought. So, yeah, I can see a gripe there. I've seen images on Twitter going around, too, that the Sabres took a pretty bad change in overtime where they had, an extra man on the ice. So you want to be upset about that, fine. But the Bruins had plenty of chances to bury one, and they don't score, Joe. They don't score goals.
We're on our chat. Yeah, and guys, they couldn't do this before the trade deadline. I don't want to, I'm looking ahead to the next coach already. It's not a Sacco problem. You want to bring Sacco back? Sure, go ahead. But not as the head coach. He can hang around. He's from Medfa, right? So he's all good. They need a guy that can generate offense or knows how to at least, or scheme an offensive mindset. Since you got the greatest goalie of all time and Jeremy Swayman hanging around. Our chat's funny tonight. Bruins and Celtics can't wait for both regular seasons to end for two complete opposite reasons.
Yeah, me and Jay Stu took a look at the rest of the Celtics schedule last night. It's not great. Not a lot of worthy opponents on the Celtics schedule the rest of the way.
Brian says the Bruins are really looking bad recently. I think they need to take a team trip to the White Mountains, get a private chef and a bunch of hot tubs, and have that little meetup. But the White Mountains, by the way, is great, which I love. The Loon Resort. I love it up there. It's absolutely fantastic. They're actually going on a 5-game road trip right now, so maybe they can get to know each other on this nice little trip that's happening. Joe, some guy. Joe, you're the best. When I put you on at home, my little kids say, Dad's listening to Meatballs Murray again.
Sure, you've been called worse.
I don't think I've ever been called Meatballs Murray, though. Oh, God, I don't want to start that one. Somebody who gives meatballs reminds me of the wedding singer when, he would help the elder lady, the one who does to the hip, hop, the hippie, and she paid him in meatballs. That reminds me of a meatball lady, like somebody who would be called Meatballs.
It is Rosie, I believe.
Rosie. He's gone to Rosie's house. And he didn't want to be paid in meatballs anymore. And he's like, I want money. I want to put money in the bank just like you. No, Davey, I know it's not a shot at you, bro. We're all having fun.
Julia Gulia.
Yeah, that's right. Wait a second. You're marrying a guy whose name's Gulia? I never liked that guy, by the way. The one that Drew Barrymore was with.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to like him.
I never liked... No, I know. But, if I ever saw that guy in another movie, I wouldn't like him. You know? And when they all get together on the plane, and they're like, yeah, and then, she woke up in my Van Halen shirt. And Billy Idol's like, man, that could be his bad luck.
Not a bad Billy Idol,
That wasn't
Joe.
bad. Joe, you're going to be staying up late for the West Coast trip postgame. Don't think we're going to be doing that next week.
We'll be here hopefully when the Celtics go late in the playoffs. We will be here late at night. If the Celtics go deep, we will be here.
Listen, every time I go to bed at night, I'm resting for the Celtics playoff run.
You're already there, Joe, mentally?
Skaz, I probably have been there since the football season ended. Because realistically, not to get all selfish here, but I'll go to camp for the Patriots one day, one Sunday, and I'll come back with my opinions on the year. And I've been right the last couple of years, so I'll do that. And then once we come back, it's the final preseason game. And bing, bang, boom, we're going right to the Super Bowl. So since the Super Bowl has ended, I have pretty much been on Celtics playoffs. I'm already looking into June. That's probably when they'll win, right? Early June if they do, because I predicted they'll win it all. Once that happens, though, that's when we start, then we get our rest, retool, and hopefully the Red Sox go on a little run. But the West Coast audience loves you. Thank you, Carrie Ann. Watching on YouTube right now. We got into an interesting debate yesterday, Skaz. I was with Mark Dondero. And he, again, I know I'm a little older than you, but he was basically saying that Ken Griffey Jr. was better than Barry Bonds. And
what?
In baseball.
No.
So in my brain, I wanted to just dismiss it immediately. But, I let him get it out. I that's one thing I will allow on the show, unless I'm out. Like, unless it's a hard out. But he was trying to bring up this potentially East Coast, West Coast bias. Because there were years where Ken Griffey Jr. should have been the MVP and didn't win, but Barry Bonds won it every single year.
Joe,
I'm not defending the take.
Just refresh my memory. Where is San Francisco?
That is on the West
Oh,
Coast.
just checking.
Yeah, that's true. But we're on the East Coast, and I know where Seattle's on the West Coast too, but what I'm trying to say is here, Griffey was the biggest thing going. Yes, I know, Joe. I get it. Seattle, I get it. It's not my take. Never mind. You know what? I'm not going to use someone else's take. Fine.
Joe, all I'll say to anyone that thinks Ken Griffey Jr. was a better baseball player than Barry Bonds is you're wrong. But also, just look at their stats, and you could say whatever you want. Bonds was on steroids. I'm sure Ken Griffey was squeaky clean. No body changes there or injuries later in his career that would suggest he was doing anything wrong at all.
Griffey had a trajectory where he went downwards because he got older.
Well, he also got hurt.
I also don't want to bring up, if we're talking steroids, I don't care.
I don't care at all.
But Barry Bonds doing it was a great player who whenever I talk about something being great, I always say, it's Chuck E. Cheese on steroids or something. Barry Bonds was already the best. He won how many MVPs before he, juiced?
So just in terms of stats, Joe, your basic MLB stats, hits, home runs, RBIs, stolen bases, batting average, slugging, all-star appearances, MVPs, batting titles, seasons? Silver sluggers. Barry Bonds leads in all of those categories.
Skaz?
Also has more games played.
I agree with you. And I agree that Barry Bonds was better. But I love to listen to somebody explain why they think something is the way it is.
I like Dondero. I just don't agree with the take.
Yeah, I didn't either, but I wanted him to explain it. And the East Coast, West Coast bias was something I was thinking of because here, man, when I was a kid, and you wanted tickets to watch an opposing team, for me, it was Ken Griffey Jr. Now, I know that there was no interleague play and all that back in the day, so you really couldn't see Barry Bonds at Fenway Park. And when he did, I think they walked him every single time. Might have to look that one up, but I'm pretty sure. I remember it being a big deal, like whenever Bonds came to the plate, it was like automatic. But to me, in my opinion, I do think Barry Bonds, who, by the way, played with Bobby Bonilla, Andy Van Slyke, and other great players on Pittsburgh, and then went to San Francisco with Jeff Kent, who I believe was an MVP, right? And Matt Williams and other guys like
Jim
that.
Leland, great manager in Pittsburgh, too.
Was Will Clark? I don't even remember. Anyways, my point is, Barry Bonds always played with a great team, right? Ken Griffey was kind of like Randy Johnson and like Jay Buhner.
Joe, I got to ask, how did you and Dondero get here? How did you get to Bonds?
How do you think we got here?
I have no idea.
We talked about who is our favorite Red Sox player growing up, and it turned into
Jose Offerman.
That was your favorite player? Get out of here. He sucked.
Troy O'Leary.
His daughter, by the way, is married Bray Wyatt. JoJo is her name. Wait, who'd you say next?
Troy O'Leary.
I love Troy O'Leary. 1995 was it 95 or 99? 95 had a grand slam against Cleveland. Wait, was it 99? What year was it? Why am I whispering? I don't know. One of those years, he hit a grand slam against Cleveland. It was huge. How do we go from the Bruins to this? I don't know. You know another thing, too, is Jose Canseco was so hyped for being a 40-40 man. Bonds did it, too, and was better. You know what? Baseball was great in the 90s, man.
Yeah, Joe, and just while we're here, because why not? You say baseball was great in the 90s. Baseball is doing itself no favors. The MLB season starts at 6 a.m. Tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., the MLB regular season starts. And you have not heard a whisper about it. They're starting Dodgers-Cubs tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. in Japan. You could have had the game start at noon in Japan. It would have started at 8 p.m. in Los Angeles or something like that. No. MLB says 6 a.m. tomorrow, first game of the regular season. Just an outstanding marketing job.
I wouldn't have known if you didn't tell me. And I love to bet on opening day stuff. Okay, Barry Bonds versus the Red Sox. 3 games played. He had 13 plate appearances, 9 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 single, 4 walks, had 2 strikeouts. Actually, this is the combined, excuse me. He played 6 career games against the Red Sox. In 18 at-bats, he had 4 hits, 1 home run, and 1 RBI, walked 7 times, had 3 strikeouts, hit .222. 04, the year the Red Sox won a World Series. In 07, the year the Red Sox won a World Series is when the Red Sox played Bonds. So therefore, did the Red Sox own him? All right. Well, we'll go to break, everybody. We're here till 11 o'clock. Bruins lose, whatever you want to talk about. Ricky Henderson after 10 p.m. Joe Show. Never know where we'll end up. That's the plan. That's kind of the idea. We'll go to break then, and we'll figure out what we'll do next here on the Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. Now I feel like I threw Dundero under the bus. We had a good day yesterday. I like him. We bonded for like 4 hours yesterday.
Watch out.
What did we talk about? Well, you wouldn't have liked this one, Skaz, but he thinks that Jason Tatum has underperformed in the fourth quarter.
I'm fine with that take.
Okay.
I just asked about the first three, but...
Do you know what I said to him? As I said, hey, man, I'm not going to dismiss it.
No, I think it's fair, especially late in the year with the fatigue and everything like that. I think it's part of the reason why I think he needs to sit down the stretch.
I do think that Jaylen Brown hasn't played well, and I also think Missoula has struggled, which has added to some of his struggles. But when Porzingis goes off for 14 points, I say it's a team win. And they didn't have to rely on it. His 2 free throws, though, were very big. They were late in the game.
Yeah, the things that really stood out to me over the weekend and, over the last week is this team needs Derek White, absolutely, to be Derek White in the playoffs. And this is something we talked about a lot yesterday on the Green Teamers podcast every Sunday, is that you're not playing 19 playoff games this year. You 4-1, 4-1, 4-1, like... You're not winning series like that this year. Maybe in the first round, you might get lucky with an opponent in the second round and you beat them 4-1 too. But I think that Eastern Conference Finals in that NBA Finals is going to be a much different story this year. And I'm not saying the Celtics, are necessarily going to lose, but if Kristaps Porzingis is only available for 7 playoff games like he was last season, I don't think you're repeating. If Drew Holiday is not Drew Holiday in the playoffs, if Derek White gets into one of the slumps that we've seen, twice probably this year, I think that's a really bad sign for the Celtics. I still think Tatum and Brown can carry them, to an Eastern Conference Finals, maybe to a Finals, if they're at their peak. But if those other guys aren't there, I don't think it's like last year. I think the Eastern Conference is much stronger than it was last year, and I don't think you're going to get lucky, in the finals out of the West, getting a weakened Mavericks team that was pretty one-sided. I think it is a much different, playoff picture this year.
I think the difference is the road is going to be more challenging. I also think that if Jaylen Brown plays to an elite level, nobody can beat him. Jaylen Brown last year was the best player in the playoffs. He was the best player. He hasn't played like that consistently enough this year. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I know he's dealing with injuries, hips, all that stuff. But I would like to see him be a better defender in the playoffs, and I think that's maybe when he's waiting for it. He got exposed against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I'll say it right now. But he's not playing tomorrow night. They're resting him. They're playing that one smart. You need Jaylen Brown to be full Voltron. I absolutely agree with that. What else was it? What else did we talk about yesterday? I'm just trying to think of some other things. Oh, the Patriots. You know how earlier, Skaz, we would say, well, that Mike Vrabel's a defensive-minded coach, and, well, you don't want a guy to come in here and just, go all crazy on defense. What have they done? They've gone all defense. So, where's the offense?
You're not a Mac Hollins believer, Joe?
I mean, he likes to be close to the earth. Trent, our intern, is out. Well, that looked like an out.
Maybe it might be the most effusive I've ever seen Trent.
That looked like a surrender situation right there.
He was very much out on Mac Hollins.
Okay, because didn't Mac Hollins played with the Eagles, right? Was he like a high draft pick?
Fourth round pick, I think Trent said.
Fourth round pick, or whatever. Well, the only year I think he was good was with Josh McDaniels. Ooh.
Yeah, Joe, but he's barefoot. He walks around barefoot.
Yeah. He said he doesn't do it in the cold, though.
I'm pretty sure there was video of him walking into Buffalo games last year in the cold.
I'm being reminded that Dundero said, I don't care what the stats say when it came to Barry Bonds versus Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
I think Ken Griffey had a beautiful swing and was awesome.
Yeah.
And the argument was Frank Thomas would win the MVP, or Juan Gonzalez, or Pudge Rodriguez, or Mo Vaughn for that matter, not Ken Griffey Jr. And I just when I go back at the MVP numbers, I see Barry Bonds, Barry Bonds, Barry Bonds, Barry. And then, so I guess we shouldn't look at the stats. We should just look at the swings. Because I also said that J.D. Drew was one of the greatest baseball players I've ever seen in my life, and I mean that. The way that he played, he was absolutely outstanding. I love the way he kneeled down in the outfield, his swing, but that guy cared zero, it looked like, at least. And he was fragile.
It was his job.
He was the Kristaps Porzingis.
It was. I think, and he had like family stuff, I think, too, if you really want to dive into the J.D. Drew thing, but I'm with you, Joe. I think he gets kind of a bad rap. He was incredible.
He won't be. He didn't have over 2,000 hits.
I think he still has the record for home runs in a month for a Red Sox. There was a year where he carried them in June or July, had like 11 home runs. Yeah, no, I was a big JD Drew guy.
He was a huge high draft pick for St. Louis. Honestly, he didn't pan out the way people would think. But was he better than like a Trot Nixon who was drafted right around the same area? Absolutely. He was a great player. I don't want to call him soft, but that was his...
his brother won a ring with the Sox.
Both of them won rings with Sox?
That's true.
How many brothers won rings with Red Sox? Oh, no. Think about that for a second. Did they didn't win early on. The last time they won was 1918. So, were there any brothers on those teams? Because I was going to say DiMaggio, but that was, not the right. They didn't win. So, I'd have to think 04, 07, 13, 18? I wanted to say Pedro and Ramon, but that didn't work out then. Guess.
Yeah, they're the only ones, Joe. With the Sox, at least.
Okay.
The Molinas, all three brothers, won rings.
Oh, did all the Boones? I think the Boones might have too. Brett Boone, Aaron Boone.
I don't believe Brett Boone.
Brett didn't.
I don't think he ever did.
I think he was a Reuter. It's okay. You know what? Mo Vaughn admitted it, and I'm okay with it.
I'm perfectly fine with it.
It's okay if you enhanced yourself because it wasn't illegal and everyone did it. It's no different than what you guys were doing growing up. Oh, Gabe is in West Roxbury. Hey, Gabe.
Oh, hey, Joe. How's it going?
I'm hanging in there. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Where do you go on St. Patty's Day?
I'm Jew, so, yeah.
Well,
I wore
that
my
doesn't
green
matter.
Celtics.
Today's Dan Lifshat's birthday, and he's Jewish.
Happy birthday, Lipschatz.
Yes. But wait, when someone asks, are you Irish? Do you say I'm Jewish?
Oh, I mean, I turned 40 on Thursday, so I'm not, back in the 20s, I would go out and drink, with all my buddies.
I would go to Doyle's and then the Corab.
Yeah, I went to Mary's, across from Pino's.
Oh.
We used to sneak in there with the fake IDs.
Oh, God.
Newton South and Newton North.
Again, the guys who did steroids, what you did, what's the difference?
Exactly. Shit. All right. I love the callers. I can't stand, the wide receiver take. We're not going to, trade for any big names right now. We know what the Patriots are doing. I'm looking at the available wide receivers. You have Diggs, Keenan Allen, Cooper, and Cooks, and Deontay Johnson. Get him out, though. And, Lockett. All those guys were previously making $22 million a year. We're not going to go for those players unless the only way the Patriots are going to sign a decent wide receiver is if they want to come here on a prove-it deal. Incentive like crazy. So you got to go down a little bit, and you look at a Robert Woods, maybe a Tyler Lockett. I mean, he made $14 million. I mean, maybe get him on a one-year deal. Try that. Tyler Boyd, DJ Shark. I mean, I just don't see any big wide receiver this year. I was hoping for T. Higgins next off season, but that's out. I just think this season we're just still Vrabel is just still seeing who we have, or who the Pats have. I'm sorry, who the Patriots have out there, and I just feel I hate saying that they don't care about the offense this season. They're just like getting things together. They know it's a plan, like Mayo was supposed to have. And next offseason, hopefully there will be a, A.J. Brown available. So, hey, and the Celtics, I love them. They're doing well, but we need Porzingis if we're going to go all the way. We need someone in the paint. I love Horford, but we need Porzingis. It's an unbelievable difference. So, hope you have a great night, Joe.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I just want to put on the line that I do think Brandon Ayuk's available for the taking. The Patriots just would have to pay the money. And that's the, that's the holdup there. Hey, we got to go to break. We're going to get you your final headline of the night. I'm Joe Murray here in the Sports Hub.
Essential Sports Hub.
women today.
On the Sports Hub.
And for St. Patrick's Day, crowds are coming by the dozens to get an up-close view at what some say is a piece of Irish folklore.
Some people in the Crichton area of Mobile say a leprechaun is taking up residence in their neighborhood. A leprechaun. NBC 15's Brian Johnson has more.
Curiosity leads to large crowds in Mobile's Crichton community. Many of you bring binoculars, camcorders, even camera phones to take pictures.
To me, it look like a leprechaun to me. All I gotta do is look up in the tree. Who else seen the leprechaun say yeah?
It was 15 years ago. Hey, he's magical, leprechaun, that guy. And intern Trent tonight did an in or out version of St. Patrick's Day, and we posted it to I'm Joe Murray on Instagram, so go check that out. I'm also on TikTok, but I'm not really a talk ticker. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not like a guy who goes on there and does stuff. But yeah, the leprechaun, everybody. Bruins lose 3-2 with 10 seconds left in overtime. They're 7-9 now in overtime games or shootouts, excuse me. Patriots still 5 years to the day that Tom Brady has left don't have a star wide receiver or a left tackle. Still, 2 rebuilds, 3 coaches, no wide receiver, no left tackle. That's just facts. Might have been 19 years, Riz, now that I think about it, because I see Riz like, that's got to be more than 15 years. I remember when it happened, though, because I was working the morning show then. Someone says, Joe, best age for St. Patrick's Day. Okay, so I haven't celebrated St. Patrick's Day in probably 15 years. But when we grew up in our area, Doyle's was like the Irish local bar right down the street from Forest Hills. And back in the heyday, you'd get there at 6 a.m. for kegs and eggs, and you would secure that table. And you would sit there all day and basically drink until 1 a.m. The bagpipes would come in at 1 a.m. And sometimes they'd run out of beer and give out single cans for $1. And we'd sing Rattlin' Bog and, Irish music all day. And it was debauchery. But these Borgs, Skaz, have you seen these Borgs? Now, real quick, when I was a kid, I was a street kid. Like, we would do things on the street, whether it was play sports or walk around or look for friends, because we didn't have cell phones and all those things. So we would just walk neighborhoods to find friends, or go to the park or whatever. But we used to grab like handles of booze. We didn't have contraptions or anything like that. When did this Borg become a thing? The only thing I could think of is Superbad, when he tried to pour the booze in like the Tide thing. But when did these Borgs become a thing?
I think within the last year, 2 years, maybe they've kind of popped off. 4 years, I'm being told by Trent. They came onto my radar probably like a year.
Do you know what Borg stands for?
I've seen it before. I don't off the top of my head.
It's a blackout rage gallon.
Okay. Yeah, there you
Borg.
go. Yeah, it's just...
It's like a mixed drink in like a...
It's like a punch bowl, basically,
Springs,
but you just put it in a gallon jug.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it is.
Sometimes they mix the alcohol with Pedialyte. I've never done that. I think I've only drank Pedialyte when I've had the poops. I don't mix booze with my Pedialyte. Borgs. They were all over the steps of the courthouses today. Okay. Prince Humperdinck is on the line. Hey, Prince Humperdinck.
Hey, Joe. I'm sorry. You got me laughing. I didn't know what Borg meant till you said it. Blackout rage? Something?
No. Blackout.
All right. So,
it's a thing to make to blackout and drink, like rage.
But you put Pedialyte. It sounds like jungle juice to me, right?
Yes, but they put it. Yes.
So yeah, all right. Well, I don't even remember what I called
it with a thing with a cap on it, like Poland Spring jug thing.
All right. I mean, is that lean?
It's a plastic water gallon.
All right. I'm more confused than when I first called.
How high are you right now?
A little bit, not too much. But I love you guys. I really do.
We got 30 seconds. What do you got for us?
The Hall of very above average, I think, is what I was trying to call of. Like Bonds, Manning, all them, like they should be in the Hall of Fame. Harold Baines, Craig Biggio, all those guys, Hall of above average. They need to do levels with this thing because it's ridiculous.
Tiers, Hall of Fame tiers. I'm in on that.
Yeah, I'm in on Craig Biggio. Just because you slap 2,000 singles doesn't mean you're a Hall of Famer.
You might not like this take, but I do think he was great.
Yeah, it
doesn't mean I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer. I don't know. I don't want to get even into the. My eyeballs told me he was good. Was Jeff Kent better? I don't know. Won an MVP. What a sport to like really do that with, right? Well, that guy did this, and so this guy, and he's got this many. Let's go home. Let's go home. Borgs.